So Delta Force, the Chinese free-to-play battlefield killer, just turned 1 year old today with a pretty massive update. And I wasn't going to try it, but I kept seeing it pop up in my social media. I decided to see, after everybody's played Battlefield 6 now, is it really the battlefield killer? And is it even any better? And the short answer is no, it's not any better at all. Sure, it's got new maps, it's got new guns, it's got new operators, and even a fighter jet. But it's still just a cheap copy of Battlefield 2042, and it doesn't even do Battlefield justice to consider itself a battlefield killer. The first problem I run into immediately is there's no one playing this game. Nobody. Which is weird because it's consistently pulling hundreds and thousands of players every single day. And before you say, oh, Devil Dog, it's the Chinese players, I went during the peak hours with a VPN to the Oceanic servers and still couldn't find a full match. It took me 6 hours to find a full match. That's a little fishy, I would say, especially a game that is consistently topping the Steam charts. It's weird that it's very hard to find a full server in the Battlefield game mode right after the release of a major update. This goes into the trend of things just being weird with this game. Another thing I noticed that I completely hated is the amount of notifications I have to clear about stupid skins and stupid things I gotta buy and stupid whatever this operation is to unlock this is exhausting. You have to click through so many things just to clear it, and then the second you get out of a game, guess what? You're back in those menus. It is a menu-heavy, monetization-heavy, microtransaction-heavy, just click simulator for skins. And once you get past all of that, the gameplay is still not there. I think what happened with Delta Force is it came at a time when we were all extremely bored. There wasn't a Battlefield, there wasn't any shooter to play other than Call of Duty, and it looked great, and we all played it for like a couple of weeks, and we're like, it's not that great. Then after playing Battlefield 6, you go back into it, you're like, man, I had some beer goggles on or something. Because it's not even close to like Battlefield 2042. To put it into perspective, Battlefield 2042 is actually better Battlefield than what Delta Force is trying to do. The operators have weird gadgets that don't even matter, and it doubles down onto the operator area that we didn't like about Battlefield 2042 either. So it's weird that they kind of are really pushing the operators, and that's something the Battlefield fans didn't like to begin with. And then you have the guns and the gunplay itself. It's very weird. There's something that just does not hit right with it, and I cannot put my finger on it. The hit detection's there. Yeah, some of the weapons are good to use, but overall you feel, when you're shooting these guns, you feel like you're kind of shooting pea shooters. And then when you get hit, it's kind of like an instant death. Not to mention, I saw quite a lot of suspect gameplay. This is something that touted its anti-cheat, but is constantly banning people. And I remember the extraction mode for this was plagued with cheaters right from the get-go, with its very intrusive kernel-level anti-cheat. It was already plagued with cheaters. Every multiplayer is plagued by cheaters, but for some reason, that game mode specifically was horrendously filled with them. The new map isn't even that great. It's got some weird issues with it, if you can find a server that people are playing on it with. But I gotta say, I do applaud their approach with content. They are filling it with content. They are doing seasons, and it's something that's kind of refreshing to see, where we are getting content in games quickly. But we already see what Battlefield 6 is doing, where we're gonna get 2.5 new maps within 2 months, and a bunch of other stuff. So, if I would say that getting the content out is something that they have above Battlefield, I would be wrong. This is, Tencent in a nutshell. Tencent, if you don't know, already owns pretty close to 80% of the market. They own so many publishers, they own so many game titles, and they saw an opportunity that, Battlefield hasn't delivered. The Battlefield fans were really left lacking. What can we do? Let's take a original IP and turn it into a Battlefield with an extraction shooter, because everyone loves extraction shooters, and some co-op gameplay and other stuff and raids. And they kind of threw every little game genre into one free-to-play title because everyone was bored. And they capitalized on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. They capitalized on it, and it was great for the moment, but in the long run, it's not that great. There's nothing that's going to keep this game's head above water for much longer. And it leads back to the Steam charts. How do they even make sense? How are that many people playing? Oceanic servers with the VPN, there's nobody playing it at peak hours. So the areas where the players are peaking, the servers are dead. I can definitely see this game not surviving a year or two from now, especially with what we're seeing with Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 seems to, EA has learned from the past, and they're doing everything right at the moment. I know some people are upset with campaigns and other things, but overall, we all seem to enjoy the multiplayer, and we're getting bigger and better maps very quickly. So what is Tencent going to do? Do they continue to pour money into Delta Force? Right now, I have not seen sponsorships or anything for creators go out for, even for this. So they're not throwing money at the problem. The player base isn't existing at all. There's nothing there that's that I would consider a ton of players. Not many people are even covering the game. So what's going on with it really? Why is there so many people? There is no way that Oceanic servers can be dead with a crazy hundreds of thousands of people playing this game. This may well just be like with any free-to-play game. Any free-to-play game is always going to have whales, and whales are the bread and butter of any free-to-play game. These are the people that spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on it, even though the game is completely free. They sacrifice money for time and progression. And that's probably what's keeping Delta Force alive. That there are people in there that just have, you know, workaholics. They work 12 hours a day. They make fantastic fucking money. And all they want to do is sit down and enjoy the game. They don't want to grind. And they're spending thousands of dollars on it. So Delta Force could, realistically, long-term, return their investment with that kind of, that aspect. If they're not pushing the money into marketing, and they're just doing the tweets, they're not getting your creators out there, they're not sponsoring, they're not looking to get creators to stream the game. They just keep their core player base and they focus on what the whales are spending money on. They very well could continue the game, but it's never going to get pushed to the masses. If that's where their focus is going to go, it'll always be kind of lingering behind everything else while the whales just continue to generate money. Overall, I think for the time when Delta Force came out, it was a nice little break and a game to kind of fill that void that we had. We didn't have anything really shooter-wise to play other than Call of Duty. And I know most of you are not playing Call of Duty. I'm not plugging in a controller to be competitive, and most of you aren't either. So when it came out, it kind of pulled at our heartstrings like, man, we could get a Battlefield game. And yeah, it gave us probably a couple of weeks of good fun. But with this new update and 1 year later, I don't see any improvement over the original product. It is subpar to even Battlefield 2042, and now it's not even in the same universe of Battlefield 6. Delta Force is the Battlefield killer that didn't really kill anything.